We are live. What's up, beasties? It's me, it's Triple B, your friendly neighborhood bearded book beast. Welcome back to another episode of Beast Friends Forever. Woo! We are going to have an awesome show tonight. Very excited to have this guest on. Someone I started chatting to way back when I first started this journey, and this is long overdue, but they are hilarious, very creative, fantastic author, even more fantastic person. You may have noticed them on the TikToks when they slide on screen and just talk about funny things like aluminum. I'm, of course, talking about my good friend, E.L. Lyons. Hey, remember to do the... How you doing?
Thank you. It is very good to be on. And I was shocked that aluminum was such a popular topic. I had no idea.
I know. Well, I mean, I think it was mostly you and your presence that made it so cool. But hey, whatever works, right?
Yeah.
How many views did you get on that you last saw?
I think it was like upwards of 45,000 views last time I saw.
That's what I thought too. Yeah, that's
but like
awesome.
it was shocking because, like, if I bring these kinds of topics up at the dinner table or with my family, no one wants to hear about aluminum and the history of Mr. Humphrey Davy.
But 40-some thousand people wanted to.
Apparently, there's some nerds on TikTok who are very passionate about English UK versus US spelling. So
yeah. Hey, you got to know the right audience, right? That's what writing is all about, right? Finding the right audience. So just like TikTok.
Yeah, your target audience is out there. I think of like the 40,000 views, most people like did scroll away after 2 seconds, but then like you've got that 15% who stayed and watched a 5-minute video. So
well, hey, it still looks good too when people are scrolling. They're like, "Whoa, 40,000 views! I gotta watch what they have to talk about." I enjoyed it. I stayed the whole time. It was very entertaining.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We got some awesome people already in the chat. We'll shout out. We've got YouTube channel of Bearded Book Beast member Tim McKay. What's up, Tim? Thanks for being here. EL is awesome. I agree. Blue Smoke Fire is here. Let's go. What's up, man? Josh Marty Overbooked is here. I was wondering too if you were gonna slide in. But I'm
there's only carpet up here. It would be really difficult.
That's too hard. And then Sarah Ballstrup is here. She says, "Hey, EL."
Hey, Sarah.
And we've got a few more people rolling in. The number just keeps going up. So you are popular, my friend. So thanks for coming on here. So everyone in the chat, thanks for being here. And then anyone watching on replay, we appreciate it. And before we get going, all of EL's books and their website is linked in the description down below. So make sure you check it all out. And Nick Betts just came in, another awesome indie author. What's up, man? Thanks for being here. All right, so how you feeling? How's the day going? How's the week going? How's life going?
I'm a little tired. I'm probably the most disorganized book launcher ever. I think I procrastinated on literally everything that you could procrastinate on, and missed a few deadlines doing that. Sometimes you procrastinate one day too long. But overall, it's gone pretty smooth, considering that I'm the one who was in control of it. I'm still shocked that it went as smoothly as it did.
That's good. That's good. So I've got book 1 back here, which is this beautiful Starlight Jewel. Do you have book 2, like a author copy or anything? Otherwise, I can share my screen and show people the awesome cover of.
I do not have it here.
Okay, let me show people this cover because your covers are awesome, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I want to show people this one in case they haven't seen it. Well, where'd my image go? Hold on, technical difficulties. I'll get it.
I probably should have brought a book with me. I don't even have my author copies yet. I was late doing everything. I've got proof copies in the house, though. It's okay.
No. I'm gonna find it. I'm just gonna go to Amazon and show people it then. That's silly. It's not there. It's just showing not the right thing. That's how it goes. How it goes. All right, here we go.
Difficulties.
Yes. We'll give people a minute to come in. That's what we'll say why this is happening. All right. Boom. Let me make it bigger before I share my screen. All right. Now, every time I do this, I always am not sure if I'm doing it the right way. Share screen. Boom. Tab only. All right. You see it? I think everyone can see it. There it is. Look at that beautiful cover. I love it. So while we're on this cover, why don't we start just talking a little bit about your covers? Tell us a little bit about your cover artist and how you came up with the idea for these covers. Is it a specific scene from the book? Was there some back and forth? How did you come up with these? And there was 2 different covers for Starlight Jewel, right?
Yeah, so that's the revised cover because people kept confusing it for a monster romance, and it's not a monster romance. It was actually her and her dad on the cover. I did not do any kind of research into like romantasy. I had just discovered romantasy as a genre. Because I just read things that people recommended me and they were all epic fantasy. So I didn't know that romantasy had been born yet. And apparently if you put a man and a woman on a cover, they are together. That is what, even if the guy is a tree.
It doesn't matter, right?
So that was shocking to me. I didn't know that, but and also my cover artist apparently only reads romantasy, which I didn't know that at the time. I guess it's romantasy. I think most of what she reads is like fanfic romantasy. So I don't know. But I've known my cover artist since we were 13, and
wow.
And so we went to high school together, and neither one of us wanted to exercise in PE class. And so that's how we became friends.
That's cool.
Yeah. I liked her last name, and I liked that she really didn't like to run. So we both didn't run together.
Yeah.
And I got to see her doodle like way back then. And I also like to doodle, but she was much better at it. So I mostly stuck to writing, which also my handwriting was terrible. So everything I did looked awful. And then she was making these like beautiful mermaids and, lovely animal nature drawings and stuff. But then she went to college for like chemistry and art history. So now she works in art conservation. So she is not available for hire.
Oh, man.
Yeah, she actually, I don't think likes doing my covers. Getting her to do my covers is like pulling teeth. I basically had to coerce her the first time. Like, if you don't do it, then I'm going to get this other friend we have to do it.
Oh, man.
Who you don't like as much. And that's how I convinced her to do the first cover. And the second cover,
Brilliant.
That didn't even work very well because she's got like 2 kids now that are under the age of 3.
Oof,
so
that's busy.
Yeah, she's really tired, but today's microphone is actually a real microphone, but if I touch the camera, it's not actually connected to anything. It will fall over. I'm working with the house of cards right here, so
you better be careful.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But the second cover for Austringer's Wrath, since she was already taking like a really, really incredibly long time to do the artwork, I decided to hire somebody else to do the second part of the artwork that I decided I wanted later, which was the basilisk. You can't really see it in this image because it's just the front cover, but it wraps, you can see his face right there, or her face with her little tongue. So that's actually 21's art. I think his like Twitter username is 21 at like Quattro Vingington. I don't know how to say it. but very talented. And so I was going to just use that as interior art for the book. But my boss, who's my cover designer as well, really loved it. And he was like, we need to put this on the cover. And I don't actually get as much of a say in things as you would think, being the author, since my boss is actually just working for like, free meals and stuff. I cook. But yeah, so he put the basilisk on the cover, and I was like, yeah, you're right. It does look really good.
It does look pretty sweet.
Yeah. So now I have 3 people who work together to do the second cover. But yeah, so I think they turned out beautiful.
They did. Teamwork makes the dream work. So there you go. So then what's your plan for now? How many books will this series be, do you think?
3.
3? So what are you thinking for the third cover? Are you going to try to get the same one for 2, or what do you think?
If I can convince Slaughter to do my third cover, then I will. But thank you, Bob.
Oh yeah, there it is.
That's 21's name. Quattro. Yep. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it.
I get why you had a hard time. That's tough. But there it is, people. Does good work, as you could see.
He does. That basilisk, especially if you see the full detailed image on the inside, it's fabulous. It's so gorgeous. I hope he sells some like prints of it or something so that people can buy the art. Yeah, if she does not want to do it, I'll probably just hire him to do the cover work. But I have a hard time coming up with like what to actually do on the cover. Especially after the first mishap, I feel really nervous about messing it up again in some way that like you can't predict. And like your first thought is always like make it a scene from the book. But after making a study of other people's covers, I realized as long as you just get the vibe right, then it doesn't matter if it never happens in the book, as long as it's conveying the right genre.
Right.
That's the important part. So
yeah. I didn't help with that situation because I kind of heard that too. So then I actually put it in a video where I talked about romantasy I want to read. So I apologize for my part in that.
It's okay. It's at least once a week. There's still somebody calling it a romantasy, and I'm just putting out little fires all the time, just trying to.
It's part of the job, right?
Yeah, it's my fault. I should have known that romantasy existed, and also like what their books looked like. I guess even after I found out that romantasy existed, I didn't think to like go and look at the covers and the book titles. So like my book title, Starlight Jewel, sounds like, and if you actually think of it, it's the title of like the lead prostitute in the book. So it is kind of, but it's not like that. It's just not.
You heard it here, people. It's not. All the tags I put in this were dark fantasy, not romantasy. So hopefully it'll show up in the right spots. Wanted to shout out, I didn't say anything when I showed his comment, but Dave Lawson is here. Thank you for being here, Dave. And also another awesome indie author, Mr. Timothy Wolf is here. When's there going to be more raccoon content? People demand raccoons.
I know. I'm sad I haven't been able to bring the raccoons, but whenever we find a house, which is pretty much my answer for when I'm going to do anything, but there are chickens
That's a good answer. Oh, okay.
So if we invited raccoons, I think our host would be, there's already problems. There's like foxes here that are already trying to get the chickens, and Jake looks like a fox, so we're afraid he's gonna get shot by a neighbor or something.
Oh gosh, that's terrifying. Chickens are something else. I had chickens, and I used to have this big hawk that would sit on the top of my house and just watch the chicken coop all the time. And the chickens would just be freaking out. And I'm like, I can't do anything, girls. Sorry. But, it is what it is. Library and Legs, Cinna is here. What's up, Cinna? Thanks for being here. All right. So why don't you start off? We talked about your covers, but just tell us a little bit about what your book is actually about, since we've established it is not romantasy. Tell us what the series is about.
Uh,
You can take a drink first if you need to. It's fine.
no, I'm good. I'm good. So Starlight Jewel, the series, it's about Spriggans and humans, and they make hybrids, and these hybrids form the Starlight Company, who live under the human city of Menelov, and they've got like a criminal organization called the Starlight Company. So there's a bunch of seductress thieves and assassins. And this is kind of how they financially support each other, but the humans and Spriggans make them to conduct like the Spriggan weapons trade, as well as just like keeping the peace, because the two species can't communicate without the hybrids.
Mm-hmm.
But they still need to like buy food to survive and stuff. And so the main character actually is one such hybrid, seductress thief assassin, and she is also has different parentage than most of the other hybrids, so she's trying to keep that a secret. And she's got a human half brother who's kind of been like manipulated in the womb to have like special abilities that could, start like a massive world war in this alternate world. Oh, it is alternate world fantasy.
Okay.
I feel like that was probably obvious.
I mean, the trees, the humanistic trees, I figured. Otherwise, I was going to be a little scared. I was going to ask, where are you living? Where have you seen these? I don't want to go
there. No, Dave, the tree guy on the cover was not her lover. That's her dad.
Dave, we already talked about this. Come on, man.
Dave made a beautiful song about this, about how it's her dad. But yeah, so that's what's different about her lineage. Most of the hybrids have like a Spriggan mother, which allows the Spriggans to kind of control like where the hybrids go once they're born. And make sure that they go to the Starlight Company and they're not just everywhere, which helps keep the peace with the humans. But Axley's dad is Rourke the Auldtree, who's kind of like the king of the Spriggans. And he's just kind of like fed up with some of the humans, like this one group of humans. So he decides to like have a child with this other group of humans and let them like keep her away. But one of those humans like betrays them and kidnaps Axley and takes her to the Starlight Company anyway. So then she ends up mixed in with all the other hybrid babies. And now she's got to keep like her lineage a secret and also hide her human half brother. So the book starts out after she has just like killed 3 of her teammates to keep this secret. So she like they find out and she's just like, sorry guys, you're dead now. And then she pieces out of the city with her brother because she knows that she's gonna like she can't hide it due to like the abilities that these hybrids have. It's like a genetic luck of the draw whether they're gonna get like certain human traits or certain Spriggan traits. So she like a lot of them have like keen scent, which is they can smell things. So everybody's gonna smell the blood on her. They're gonna be able to tell what happened. So she leaves the city with her brother and she's trying to hide him. But she doesn't really know what to do with like a human kid. Like she didn't even have parents that raised her. She was raised in like this criminal organization. So she's just kind of winging it and not doing a very good job. And then the book starts out there. And I don't want to spoil everything, but that's basically the plot of the book.
It's pretty exciting. That is true. When people find out your secrets, there are consequences for all involved. That is true. Very well. Well done. Well said. So, what I like to know sometimes, this is a very inventive idea, very unique. So, like, how did you come up with this idea? And with some of these, like the tree people, like this isn't. Oh man, sorry. My dog just pushed my door open with his tail. It's a magnetic door. Just blew my mind for a second. But anyway, how did you come up with the idea for the tree people and just this idea in general? What were some of your inspirations, or was it all just in the old noggin? You just have been thinking about it for a while.
So I knew about the Spriggan lore from like it's Cornish. Like I was really into like mythology as a kid and fairy tales and folklore. So I already knew about that. And then it came around in one of the video games, and I can never remember which one. I know it wasn't ESO, but it was it was one of those RPGs, and they're like floating
Mhm.
around the woods doing like kind of like high magic stuff. Like I don't
Oh,
even remember what they can do. And somebody, please, I know somebody knows the video game, but there's Spriggans in the woods attacking you and killing you, and they're really majestic.
oh man.
Um, and so I liked how they looked in that because if you look
Mhm.
up what Spriggans look like in Cornish folklore, they're like they've got big heads and they're kind of silly looking. Um, and
And I gotta look it up.
yeah, so I liked the look of these like video game Spriggans
Hmm.
with like some of the like dark fae qualities of the mythological Spriggans. But then I love botany and I love I guess biology in general. So I wanted to kind of make it more realistic and more grounded. So then I just started looking into like tree biology, botany more and kind of started building from there and then started playing with like the origin story of these. So like it's actually kind of like a sci-fi series. Not really. It's going to read like fantasy when you read it, but the origin story, I don't think The Witcher had Spriggans, but
I'm
that's
not
definitely
sure.
not the one that inspired it.
I'm
But
trying to look at. I just keep seeing all the cool ones. Oh wait, maybe this is this is the. Are these more like the silly ones?
That's more like the silly ones, yeah. Although
Yeah.
that's not one of the images I've seen. I'm not sure that counts as a Spriggan, even in Cornish lore.
Right.
Skyrim, Skyrim. Okay,
Yeah. I was gonna say Skyrim had some cool looking ones.
yeah, it
Let's
did.
see.
See, I knew it was ESO just before ESO was ESO when it was still an RPG. Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
but yeah, so I the origin story is that a meteorite falls. It's basically like an alien meteorite that has like these microscopic aliens that kind of consume DNA from everything that gets burned in the meteorite radius, and so it hits a big tree copse, and there's a human there, and also like some animals there. So
Okay.
then I did brain overlays to did Morrowind have Spriggans? I don't
Nick,
remember Spriggans in Morrowind, but it has been
Nick
like
they
a
do.
long
Yeah.
time.
It's been a long time since I played that too.
Um, but I did brain overlays with like bird brains and wolf brains and then humans to determine which human personality traits would correspond with which animal features and traits. And that helped me pick out different personalities. And you could take my applied tropy personality quiz on Quizmaker, I think, still.
Oh,
Um,
that's cool.
but to see what Spriggan
Yeah,
traits you would
I
get
like
in like
that.
the luck of the draw. But it's somewhere in my link tree if it still works. They gave me like a
Okay.
year free or something. But anyway, so I was doing that and then like obviously looking at what kills plants, like what their natural weaknesses are. Like you can't just like salt a tree or like pour vinegar on a
But
tree. So there's certain things that hybrids can't eat. And also, obviously, they need sunlight. And so, one of the kind of like less savory parts about this hybrid society is that they live underground, so that they're not as noticed by the humans. But the like higher class of the hybrids goes up top frequently. They get some sunlight, and the lower class does not get to go up top because they look very Spriggan. So they got more
right.
physical features of the Spriggans, and so they would be noticed in society. And so they get dark rot, and their
Mhm.
growth is a lot more stunted. So they're shorter. And so there was just lots of fun things that
Yeah.
I got to tie in. And then they don't go on boats. And this may possibly just be that I don't like boats personally and I don't want to go on boats. But
Hmm.
they get separation sickness if they're away from the ground too
Oh, I
long.
like that.
But I
Okay.
did have
Makes
reasons for
sense.
doing that. There's fungal networks in the ground that allow trees to communicate with each other. And
Mm.
like that formed one of the magical ability or two of the magical abilities, impartation and drawing. So that was really fun to like work with and think about. And now that I'm writing book 3, my main character is sort of learning more about one of those gifts that she wasn't able to use as much because again, she was keeping this secret. So like she had um some abilities that she was like hesitant to use before the start of the books because if she got caught using these, then it would be obvious who her dad was. And one of them she's probably never going to really learn to use, but the other one she's practicing with a little bit more now, and so that is allowing me to kind of get more into this like underground fungal network business, which I really enjoy.
That is cool. I like that. Very nice. Okay. Let me shout out a couple people that popped in while we were chatting. We've got awesome author Chris Ritchie here, as with many people. He loves your shorts.
Thank you.
Nicole is here. What's up, Nicole? And let's see. Annette popped in too. What's up, Annette? Thanks for being here. So yeah, I think it's pretty awesome. You came up with some pretty inventive stuff, things that you don't see all the time in fantasy, which I think is awesome. And I'm very excited to check it out. And I think a lot of other people are too, even if it's not romance, like Dave said.
There is romance in it. There's a romantic subplot. It's just with a regular human dude. Plot. It's not the main plot, and it's kind of like boring. So like I do pay attention to who DNFs my book, and it's mostly the romantic readers who have been misled. Oh yeah. And I think it's because it lacks the melodrama. I've talked to a few of them. It is very kind of them to like let me interrogate them. I'm interrogating somebody who's coming from horror right now because he accidentally picked up my book thinking that it was going to be funny. He's from TikTok. And he saw my shorts, and he saw that, I was making jokes and stuff. And he thought my book was going to be funny. And like when he told me, because we were talking and he was like, oh, I'm going to buy your book. And I was like, oh, cool. And he was like, I bet it's going to be funny just like you. And I was like, oh, no, you've already bought it. I have made mistakes. What genres do you usually read? And he reads like horror and mystery. And I was like, well, this is going to be fun. And based on the couple of questions he's asked so far, it is not entry-level epic fantasy.
Right.
So it's going to be fun to see this. So that'll be the second person who's coming in from like those shorter genres of fiction. And the last one, his review opened with, I have no idea what I just read. And I was cackling. Of course you don't. I'm so sorry. I don't know how you got here, but you got lost.
Right.
But yeah, the romantasy readers have different issues though. Like their issues are with like how not melodramatic the romance is. It's a very kind of like regular romance. Like Rem is just like a regular dude. He's just a guy. And he's not like a toucher and die guy. He's more like a, why did you just do that? Like, are you crazy guy? And he's just kind of like, I want this to work, so you're going to have to stop being crazy.
It's always a good thing.
Yeah. So there's not really any melodrama, and her response isn't like crazy either. She's like, you're right. I mean, I am kind of just inexperienced in this area, so I'm going to go with you on that one.
Yeah.
So
hey, that sounds good. That sounds a little more realistic, and it fits the story and the narrative and the world a little better than some of that angsty stuff.
Yes, exactly. Oh, that's cool. You touched on what I've got.
Yep. Oh man, that's good stuff. All right. So in a minute, we'll dive into kind of your journey to becoming a published author. And some of your inspirations and how you got into writing and fantasy and all that stuff. But I have one more question for you, and then we're going to do a little transition thing. But the book came out, Austringer's Wrath came out last week. Yeah, right? Last week. Something like that. 26. Yeah. 26. So you said it's gone pretty smooth, even though you kind of procrastinated on some things, but it's gone good, and so that's good. So just tell us a little bit about how it's gone the last week compared to maybe the first book release.
Well, Annette left me a review and Bob left me a review. Thank you
There you
guys. I know
go.
I haven't gotten a chance to thank you yet, Annette, but I appreciate it. I think that's the right Annette. She just doesn't have
Well,
her
there we
last name
go.
in here. But
Natural romance. I like that.
but the reviews coming in so quickly is definitely a huge difference because I
Oh
know what
yeah.
arcs are. The
Right.
first time around I didn't know what arcs were, so
Yeah.
I mean that was kind of a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny. I googled so much stuff before publishing, and I still published without knowing anything. Like those Google articles on like what you need to do before you publish
Yeah.
are useless completely. And just generally, and like I didn't know about NetGalley co-ops, which I can't really do with the sequel. That's a lot harder to make
Oh,
work.
okay. Yeah.
But with the first one, like I ended up doing NetGalley like I don't know, like a year and a half after I published.
Better
So
late than
everybody thought
never.
it was an arc. You'll see that I've got arc reviews from like 2 years after I published. So. But overall, I didn't get permabanned off Facebook this time because I was already banned from last time. But I didn't get banned off of any other social media for doing random stuff. I did have a little scare when I was on TikTok and I did like the Nicki Minaj heel trend.
Oh no.
And apparently, if you do a challenge on TikTok, it automatically assumes that you're just being a dumbass and doing something dangerous because it just like takes your video down and it's like, don't do dangerous things. And I was
Oh geez.
like, I need to appeal this, man. Like, this stump was only like this high. It wasn't really dangerous. But if you
Come
look
on.
at the other videos, other people were like, on like 10 spoons balanced on their high heel.
Oh geez.
But,
Yeah, you didn't go that far.
yeah, I was pretty tame. I'm 34. My ankles don't need that kind of abuse. It was already hard enough on
Yeah,
them.
that's fair. That's fair. That does get a lot harder, doesn't it? Jumping down from things the older we get. It's like, geez.
Yeah, my ankles definitely complain. And like we were living in like a 1-story house, and now we're staying in some like my boss's parents upstairs.
Oh
So
wow.
you have to
Okay.
go up and downstairs every day, and
Oh
like
yeah.
my
You're
ankles were
feeling
not. Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Anna Bissett, another awesome author, is here. What's up, man? Now, do you have audiobooks for your books? I didn't
Not
think you
yet.
did yet, right? Yeah.
No. I recorded everything and then realized that editing was going to take forever because where we
Mhm.
lived was right beside a jet base.
Oh,
Um,
geez.
and so I was going to have to edit out like, 20 hours of jet noise.
Yeah.
And also I had improved my like narrating skills so much by the end of the book that like the beginning
Oh,
didn't
yeah. You wanted to
match
go back.
the
Yeah.
end. So I'm going to re-record it, but again, when we find a house.
Yeah. There's the stock answer, but it makes sense. That plays a role in so many things. It makes sense. All right. So before we get into your author journey, before we do that, I always like to share a couple of dad jokes. You always do funny stuff on TikTok, so these will not be very funny, but they're still gonna be fun to share. All right. So
I like dad
I've
jokes.
got what's that?
I like dad jokes.
Oh, good. Okay. So I've got two of them. All right. So
Mhm.
here we go. Let's see. First one is, um, so, all right, hold on. Let me find it. There's so many on here I have to scroll through. All right. So first one is, okay. The first one is, okay, here it is. I found it. All right. So I threw a boomerang months ago.
Mhm.
I still live in constant fear. But
That's cute.
it hasn't come back yet. All right.
Oh.
One more. All right, this one's kind of bad. But sometimes you have to make the dad joke a little bad just because. All right. Here we go. So today I was at the bank and an old lady asked me to check her balance. So I pushed her over.
That one is pretty good.
That one's good. I would
like that
never push anyone over, especially
one.
not an elderly woman, but still, come on, that's good.
If I'm not expecting it, you'll get me. I'll fall right over.
Yeah, that's right. With those ankles, right? Oh, Thomas Howard Riley's here. What's up, man? That was a knee slapper.
That was a good time.
All right, so take us back to when you were just a wee little EL, just young, and full of innocence. Let us know what kinds of things got you into the fantasy world. You know, books, movies, video games, all that stuff, and then talk about when you started writing, and then when you decided that you were going to try to publish a book. Just walk us through that journey.
So I'll start by saying I didn't decide I wanted to publish a book until after I was already on like draft 2.5 of Starlight Jewel. So it wasn't really in my mind at the time. I didn't even know self-publishing existed.
Okay.
Until then, and then like I was kind of like, but is it really going to be good enough to publish? And it took a lot of convincing and editing, a lot of editing. But anyway, backtracking to the beginning, my dad was reading me Lord of the Rings when I was in the womb. And
nice.
Then I was born on Tolkien's birthday, and he continued reading me Lord of the Rings, and then Chronicles of Narnia and Dune and iRobot and Sword of Shannara. I do lament that his book collection, I'm not sure what my mother did with it, but it's gone. And that makes me really sad.
Yeah.
But I did get the comic book collection, so he also had all his comics. His mom was like a manager at like a convenience store, basically, but in like the 80s. And so any comics that they didn't sell, he got to take home. So he has a lot of like weird comics from that era. Like there are some popular ones too, but I haven't. And since it's just whatever he got to take home, it was like random episodes. So I have a bunch of out of order comic stories in my mind. I don't actually know the full story of anything.
Right. Yeah.
And, there was some very strange comics that no one wanted. But also like the first instance of X-Men or Wolverine in the Hulk, I got that because nobody knew that Wolverine was going to be popular, and so
dang, well that's pretty sweet. That's a great one to have.
But I loved the Barbarian comics the most.
Nice.
I don't know. I was just like a feral child, and so like that vibed with me. Just running around hitting things and with a sword. I asked for a sword for Christmas for like 10 years, and my parents would never give it to me. And it was mostly because they were afraid of what I would do with it, like hit my brother. Probably a legitimate concern.
Yeah, probably.
In retrospect, it seemed really unfair at the time. But some of my first memories are telling stories. Just kind of like making up stories in the car and telling them like they were true about alligators and fairies, like fairies riding alligators and things like that. And I have no idea what that was, but my family tolerated it, and we're just like, oh, cool, that's interesting. Elle, good job. That sounds nice. And then so once I learned to write, I was writing. I started out with like comic strips. I think the first comic strip I remember doing was like a series when I was in the 4th grade, and like I had a 4th grade teacher who was just like really into like my little comic strips. I would bring them to her at the end of every day, and she acted like she liked them, even though they were just stick figures with dialogue. And then by the time I got to middle school, I started writing like actual books, and they were terrible. My mom kept some, so I do have some of those. No one will ever see them. They are awful. And I have dysgraphia, so they are completely illegible. I didn't have a computer. Handwritten in notebooks. But then when I was 17, I finally got a laptop, which enabled me to increase my output of writing significantly, probably for the worse. Like, some people I think, struggle to get themselves going with writing.
Mhm.
And I'm more of like a compulsive writer. So like, it was like, do I want to go to class or do I want to write a fantasy story for no apparent reason? Because I had no intention to publish anything ever. I wasn't even trying to like get good. I just wanted to write stories.
Oh man.
And I was studying like English, not in college. I only took one English class in college and I hated it. So I just tested out of the rest of it. But I was working on my English skills just because I loved it. And I had like, an interest in words generally. And I was also like editing people's papers and proofreading them to get through college. So I was doing lots of that. And that definitely helped with the fiction writing, even though I did not get any, like, fiction proofreading is completely different from nonfiction. Like, there are things in fiction that you just don't have to know, like the tag and beat punctuation differences. Like, you're never writing dialogue in an essay in school.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah.
Obsessive, yes, Bob. I might have some obsessive problems when it comes to writing and world building. But
there you go. Professor of English. That's what we all choose to believe.
I don't know if I'd ever want to be a professor of English. I really like explaining like the reasons behind the grammar. Like why things are the way they are and why it's useful to have like things a certain way. Because, a lot of people get stuck in this mindset that they're just like rules and they see the jargon and that makes it like not fun. And I agree, the jargon is like not fun. But if you explain the things without the jargon and you just explain why it's useful to do things in this particular way, then it's not a rule. It's like, okay, that's clear communication. This is how you write so that people can read quickly and efficiently and actually enjoy the reading experience versus. So I don't know if I would be good at actually teaching English like Tim does. Because I think that would require a lot of me actually like talking about the jargon in a way that I find boring. So that's like one fun thing about social media is that I can talk about English however I want and I can teach it however I want, and I can even stretch the truth like a little bit with my like stories about UK English versus US English. I did leave out some context and I think a couple of those people in the comments pointed things out, but we had a good laugh about it.
That's always good. That's what it's all about.
I was afraid that people were gonna, especially the first video I did that didn't go as viral as the aluminum. I didn't lie to you, Tim, but I left out like the whole history of the church and literacy because I knew if I brought up the issues with like both like the Catholics and the Protestants between like Europe and America and what happened with, because they played a huge role in literacy. I knew that I was just going to get bombarded with people who were upset, even though like, it's just history. It's literally what happened,
Right.
So,
yeah.
But, I did leave out some of that stuff.
You're always going to get some of those people.
So I just talked about Webster and Johnson because Webster and Johnson were very safe areas of history. But yeah. And
it works.
I do love Webster the most. It's funny when you look at like him historically, he was just into everything, but also he did so much for English and he tried to do even more. Like all the complaints that we all have about English spelling and stuff and weird words, he would have changed it all if people would have let him.
Right.
So
those people, they just wouldn't let him though.
Hard to change habits of like centuries and stuff, but
that's fair.
Yeah, so he had to go with pre-established spellings, and that's, I think so many UK people are just completely oblivious to that. They just think that we just like changed everything, when in reality we took one of the accepted spellings and they took the other one because we hated each other.
Laying it all out there. Oh man. So when you were getting ready to publish this, did you think at first about trying to do traditionally at all, or querying, or any of that, or did you just think once you found out about self-pub, you're like, that's the way I'm going to do it, so I can have control and not have to worry about all the other stuff?
So I did not put a lot of thought into it. I know people are shocked. But so here's the situation. My writing mentor, one day we were editing, and it had not crossed my mind that I might publish this book. Like I was really into the editing and trying to learn and salvage what I could of this book. And he was like, "So have you thought about publishing yet?" And I was like, "No." You haven't gotten to the bad parts yet, Mark. And I started complaining about the time skip that was like upcoming that I needed to fix, and I didn't think that he would be able to help me fix it. And he was like, "Well, I think you should start thinking about it anyway. You gotta decide whether you want to do trad pub or self pub." And he was like talking like I was already gonna publish, and I was like,
You're like, whoa.
"Okay." I don't think so, but I mean, I don't know what self-publishing is, so I guess I'm doing DradPub. And then he
Right.
explained self-publishing, and then I was like, well, I guess maybe I'll do self-publishing. I think I gave it like a day's worth of thought. I looked up like what is popular now, and that's when I discovered that romantasy was a genre. And I was like, okay, and then I talked to one of my other friends who had a romantic subplot in her book. I think hers might actually count as romantasy. I'm not sure. But we were like beta reading each other's books at the same time as well. And so she recommended me to read that like Sarah J. Maas book that I can't remember the name of, A Court of Something.
Oh yeah,
and so
Thorns and Roses.
Yeah, I skimmed it and I was like, oh my God, that's not what I'm writing.
That's not my book, yeah.
And when I realized that was, kind of what was popular, and then I looked at the like word counts of like what publishers like, even in epic fantasy, I was like, I'm not getting close to that. My book is way too chunky. It can't even fit in the door. So, and then I thought about what a traditional publisher might do to my book, which, I was thinking like, are they going to try to make it a romantasy? And like put like a naked man on the cover, like the ones where they've got the chest out and like the woman is just like spooning. And I was like, I can't imagine actually doing that. Actually, is not that kind of character.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point. You lose some of that. You never know what they're going to want to do. That's very true. Well, I think you made the right choice.
Yeah, I do too. I'm very happy having creative control and being able to edit my books like 2 years after I publish them, which I've done like a lot. It's just little things, but every time I open Starlight Jewel, I'm like, did you really do that? Like that's awful. Like you should have caught that on the first 200 read-throughs. I'm ashamed that you didn't. Like I have to resist the temptation to edit it like. And every day I think about it, I think I should really just go back and edit that entire book.
Oh, man.
And have to resist.
Yeah. Just keep moving forward, right? Because I feel like when it's yours, I'm sure you would probably never be 100% content. You could probably just keep going back and changing things. So it's probably,
indefinitely. And that's why I kind of had to get the second book out the door. Like I kind of had to force myself, because it's just I want it to be better, and I know it can be better if I continue editing for the next 10 years. And never, so like it's
right, never release it.
Yeah, Dominish Books, Dominish Henkel from Dominish Books, he finished reading it today, and I cannot tell you how relieved I was that he didn't like some of the desert scenes, because it kind of drives me a little bit insane, because I get such positive reviews, and I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for the positive reviews that I get. But it makes me, there's just this little like goblin voice in my head that's like, that desert scene's not good. It's kind of boring in that section. And you didn't like the desert. And so how are people giving it 5 stars when the desert scenes aren't even that fun? And, I know it's the best that I could have possibly written it at my skill level. And I think it's good. Like, I don't think
Mhm.
it's bad, but I also think it's not as good as other parts of the book.
Mhm.
So it was a relief to hear somebody like actually genuinely like complain about something that I have complaints about.
Right.
And that's how I feel when I get negative reviews on Starlight Jewel too. I'm like, you're right, man. I'm glad somebody
I
finally
get
noticed.
it. Well, that's good. It's good that you take it that way and then just let it, yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. It's a good way to be. That's awesome. We got a couple more people that have popped in. Let me shout them out quick. We had another awesome YouTuber and author, Chance Dillon. What's up, man? Thanks for popping
Say
by.
wasabi.
What's that? Yeah, he always, that's what he says at the beginning of his videos. He says,
Yeah,
wasabi
yeah.
gangsters.
Nice.
Oh yeah. And then let's see, where'd he go? Mark from Mark's Book Lounge is here. What's up, man? Thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. So Chris said genuine complaints are so hard to I'm not sure what you meant at the end there, Chris. I think I
think
know
he
what
was
you mean.
about to say overcome
Oh,
and then
and then he said
get.
yeah. 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 So that's good. It's good to take them, especially if they are something that you agree with. It's not somebody just being like a turd.
Yeah. No, I have had some. I've had a couple of reviews that have like irritated me. There's when somebody gets something like actually wrong, like when it's
Yeah.
clear that they like
Oh yeah.
just like skimmed the book and like so
Yeah.
they're saying that
Yeah.
something didn't happen, but
Right.
it literally did, like on that page, and you
Oh
can see it
yeah.
with your eyeballs.
Yeah.
Or
That's
like
frustrating.
mislabeling it. I think that was the worst one, was
Yeah.
somebody mislabeled it with like a trigger warning that it does not have. And
Ooh,
I actually emailed that reviewer because
yeah.
we had been emailing before
Uh-huh.
and asked why, and they were like basically like it would be reminiscent of this thing, this one scene that like clearly was not, because of like certain circumstances that could happen. And I was just like, okay, I can't
Oh man.
reply anymore because
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
So it's not
it's
that
gonna go
I'm
back.
completely unaffected by negative reviews, but I think it's just the inaccurate ones. But it's
Yeah.
like, I
Oh
guess
yeah.
I'm self-aware enough to see that my book has definitely got like some flaws.
Yeah.
It's not perfect, and I'm
Right.
okay with that. But
That's quite a thing that Tim had, saying that you killed a character. It was the main character and they never died. That's yeah. Sometimes you just gotta like some
you
of
know,
those.
I feel like, oh wait, your first book is that's not Fall of Sylvandria. Because I feel like that's debatable if it's Fall of Sylvandria.
Oh, Tim, you got some explaining to do.
The deaths are debatable in that book, kind of, sort of. But I
Oh,
also don't know who really counts as the main character. Multi POV.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But
We'll see. I'm sure he'll have something to say in a minute here. But all right, so we will switch gears again. We're going to talk about your writing process. So there's some questions I always like to ask because it's just fun to hear how different authors do different things. So the first one is on the spectrum of pantser and plotter. Pantser, you just sit down and write. You don't plan anything out. Plotter, you plot and outline everything out to meticulous detail and you don't stray from that. Where do you fall with that? Are you in the middle? Do you lean one way or the other? Has it changed from book to book? What do you think?
I not for Fall of Sylvandria. Okay. People die a lot. Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm definitely a plotter, but I would like to say I'm a chaotic plotter.
Ooh, okay.
So I don't plot in order. It's not like I'm writing like a linear plot line. I have a bunch of scenes that I want to happen, and I have like 10 ending options. And so I detail those out sort of, and then, but they don't go any particular order. Like the ending goes at the end, and I have to pick an ending kind of, as I get closer, I kind of like narrow it down.
Oh, okay.
And but these pieces could really go anywhere. And you can kind of see that if you pay attention while you're reading both books, that
Mhm.
like there didn't necessarily need to be this order of events. Each one leads to the other, but if you just take out like a little piece of it, it could have gone somewhere else, because it could have literally. Um,
Okay.
but that allows me to like get everything I need to get in to make the ending fall in place without making me feel like, oh, I have to do this next. Which is helpful to me. And then I have like a separate outline to keep track of all my plot threads. So like, you open a plot thread, you got to close it, but sometimes you forget about it. If
True.
you're me,
Right.
especially when you open like 50 plot threads in the first book.
Oh man,
Um,
that's a lot.
I just kind of like ended the first book like holding this like big thing of loose ends, and like okay, well, where I need to tie all these in now, like right from the beginning of the next
Oh
book.
no.
And you don't want to wait too long to bring a plot thread back in, because then they
Right.
don't remember it. So you've got to remind people that the plot thread is there while also like continuing it. But oh, hey Molly.
Oh yeah,
But
Molly. Macabre is here. What's up, Molly? No worries, my friend. Better late
and
than never.
Sarah, the choose your own adventure, I feel like I could write a choose your own adventure.
Ooh, that
That
would
is
be
kind of
fun.
how I plot. But
I
yeah,
love those
so
books when I was a kid.
I feel like I might have done like one or two, but I know I saw other people doing them and I thought they looked fun. But
Yeah.
yeah, so that's basically how I plot. And then my characters mess everything up all the time. Or I
Yeah.
forget something really important that like completely messes everything. Like Camille um is obviously a hybrid and she can't go on boats. And for whatever reason, I forgot that when I was doing like my 3-book outline. Um and so I had to change like her entire plot line, which led to her I had plans, and I had to ruin all my plans because of forgetting that one thing when I was doing like the early stages of plotting,
Oh no.
because then it led to her being in a place that she wasn't going to be before. And then, yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, but it ruined my plans. And
Oh
now
man.
Camille is causing trouble, and it actually turned out probably better than it would have.
Well,
But
see, there you go. It worked out good.
yeah, I do
Uh,
find that mistakes tend to lead to like the best outcomes. Like I was using this Shakespeare app to write for a little bit,
mhm.
and mostly because I loved the interface, but it doesn't let you manually save. And I lost 5
Oh,
chapters
oh, that's a
in
good
one day.
chunk.
Yeah,
Oh
it
no.
was a good chunk. It was an upsetting chunk
Uh,
of that draft. And so I had to rewrite it. And when I rewrote it, I was like, okay, it's better this time. I still hate this app, but it's better this time.
this is
I'm
all
gonna
for the
switch over.
best.
I don't recommend that one. I think they have cleaned it up a bit, but not enough to
Ah,
reduce my trauma.
yeah, everything like that should have autosave. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like in the old video games where they didn't have autosave, like the old Resident
Uh,
Evil games or something.
you
You
just
get
die.
so far. Oh, it's the worst. All right. So next question. If you are like when you're in the middle of writing book 2, or right now when you're writing book 3, and you have an end goal in mind of when you want to finish the book, do you set daily goals? Do you just kind of write whenever, however, whenever, however
Mm.
much, and you don't worry about it? You just finish it by the time you want to finish it. I'm guessing by the chuckle that you don't set daily writing goals.
So those who have been following me for a while know that I thought I was going to be publishing Austringer's Wrath 2 Novembers ago. That was my estimate. I was very optimistic. It did not work out that way, obviously.
It's good to be optimistic.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I've got this down. I did so good with that last book. I don't need 2 years
I
of
don't need all
editing.
this time.
And then I wrote it and I was like, I apparently need a little bit of editing, a little bit more than I thought. And then I kept editing and I was like, you know what, this needs a lot of editing. So it was like just a few more things for about a year and a half. And
Oh man, there's a
until
few
I
more
got it.
things.
So I do set goals, but they're unrealistic, and I don't set like daily writing goals or anything like that because I never really know how the day is gonna go with my
Mhm.
job. It's just I guess like what happens at work and when I have 5 minutes, like if my patient is like asleep or not asleep.
Right.
Um so it just, sometimes I'm like writing just like literally for 5 minutes, and sometimes I'm writing when my truck breaks down on the side of the road. you know, it's just whatever there happens to be time.
It's good to
So
be flexible for sure. That's good.
yeah.
Uh, we got another EL in here. EL
Oh,
Montague is here. He says the one, the only, the wonderful EL. And Shane Boyce. What's up, Shane? Thanks for being here. Um, and Molly says she can't wait to get in Austringer's Wrath. So there we go. Um, hold
excited.
on 1 second. My dog that opened the door with his tail earlier is next
Very
to me, and
excited.
he's like jumping up and down and whining. I need to make him go out of this room. So hold on a second. Just a
Good.
moment.
Welcome, everyone. I don't know how to interact with the chat, but I'm very glad you're all here. And hopefully you guys enjoy Ostranger's Wrath whenever you get to it, if you do.
Oh yeah. See, you did great. Look at that. See, now what that proved is now you need to start your own live show and be a host, because I think you'd rock it out.
Yeah, I am kind of with the Matt Falcon. We're starting Cat versus
Ooh,
Bird on
I love it.
TikTok, so it's going to be much shorter than
Yeah,
these and more informal and just kind of like, again, I don't know when I'm going to have time, so we have decided on whenever.
that's a good
Um,
way to do it.
And so Kylie doesn't know this yet, but she's going to be our next guest, Kylie Agard. I don't know how to say her
Oh,
name.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep,
Um,
I'm having her on soon too. Yeah,
she writes The Hunter, and
yeah.
so I'm gonna ask her, like, are you available in 30 minutes? And that's our plan for scheduling,
Nice. I like
which I
it.
think is gonna work really well. And I think me and Falcon have good energy because neither of us know what we're doing.
Mhm.
And so that I think is perfect. That's the kind of
Oh yeah.
co-host I need, and
Yep, yep.
we'll be
That
doing
sounds
interviews.
sounds like it's going to go very well. And I think I can agree, and I think everyone here can agree with EL and Shane that you are someone worth supporting. So I think we're all excited for
Thank you.
whatever you do. All right, next question. Sorry, now my daughter needs me to do something on her tablet for it. It's just,
Oh,
it's so everybody needs something all the time. There you
yeah.
go.
Tablet maintenance is important, and
It is, it is. It is if I want to do these, right? Go back out there. All right. So next question. When you are writing, now this one from your other answer, I think we know probably the question too, but are you a creature of habit with your writing? Like, do you like to write if you could, because you just kind of do it when you can, but if you had a preference, do you prefer like writing in the morning versus evening in a certain room in your house, or on a certain device, anything like that? Although I know how it goes. You got to just write when you can write.
Yeah, if given the option, I love to write at night when I
Okay.
should be sleeping. That's the best time to write. When you know you should be sleeping, oh my God, all the creative juices come out. Like,
Oh yeah.
you're staying up too late and you've got to work
Hmm.
in the morning. And so every once in a while I do let myself do that, but not very often. But when I do, I've got like my like Starlight Jewel playlist that has the same 10 songs that I've been listening to for like 6 years now.
Oh
And
man,
and
rocking it
then
out.
just going crazy on my laptop and knowing I think it's just something about feeling irresponsible feels lovely.
I like
um
it. I think you're right.
yeah.
Very good. Very good. It's always a good choice. Be a little irresponsible. Life's too short to be responsible all the time, right? See,
Yeah.
people agree. Molly agrees. Thomas agrees. I think you're onto something.
Yeah. I mean, my job is kind of important though, so I do have to be responsible like most of the
You
time,
should,
but
yeah, you
but
should be somewhat alert.
little cheating days every once in a while don't hurt anything. So
That's right. That's all
stay
right.
up a
That's
little
all right.
late, I'm tired the next day. Yeah.
There you go.
1 a.m. Yeah, when
Oh
you know
yeah.
you should be sleeping.
It's
Perfect.
just it's
Best time.
flowing. It's flowing. Nice. All right. So last question is when you're writing, and you just answered it already, but so you like to listen to music. Some people like it quiet, but do you always listen to music in that playlist when you write, or does it depend on like the scene? Sometimes do you want silence? What do you do for background noise when you're writing?
I always want the playlist. The playlist like Pavlov's my brain. Like I'm a dog.
I
I'm
like
just a
that.
dog. Like the playlist comes on and I know I can write. And
Yeah.
so I do. And that's why it's the same songs. Every once in a while I'll test out a new song, adding it in and see if it works, but like
Uh-huh.
usually it doesn't. Usually my brain is like, "Oh, it's new.
Yeah.
Fun.
Oh.
Like let's think about something else. This is a fun song instead of like this is the bell."
Shane always wants to know what percent of the playlist is Sleep Token.
0%. I feel like I did listen to it because everybody's always talking about
Oh
Sleep
yeah,
Token, but
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't recall what it was like or if I liked it or if I didn't.
I know.
Um, it's
Same.
it's a weird bunch. It's got Mumford and Sons and Evanescence and also In This Moment and Gemini Syndrome. So it's a weird mix of songs. It's
You do have an interesting mix on there. I like it though.
a lot of Starset though. For whatever reason, Starset it does make my brain want to write. So
Oh,
that's very
that's good.
helpful.
Then you got to rock it out. All right. So if you have time, we're over an hour, but I have two more things I want to do. I got some questions for us to get to know you outside of writing, if you're okay with that. And yes,
Yeah.
that's true. ZB would be crestfallen. So well, Molly just started listening to Starset. So there you go. You
They're
guys are
fantastic.
gonna, yeah.
The Perfect Machine. Sorry.
No, you're the star of the show. I'm here to listen. But I'd love to ask you a few more questions if you have time.
Yep, I've got time.
All right, cool. So before we do that, though, I always play a little game. We have a 1-minute mystery for you. Now, I used up the old cards, so these ones are a little more straightforward, which I think is good. But I'll read you the mystery, and then the chat can help you, and we'll see if you can solve it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. All right, hard boiling an egg takes approximately 10 minutes, but it isn't always as simple as that. Many factors can alter the time it takes. For example, in different parts of the world, hard boiling an egg could take up to 40 minutes. Why do you think that would be?
The elevation.
Oh, nice. You don't need no help for that. Nicely done.
I've been down egg rabbit holes before. Been down a rabbit hole about just about everything.
Oh man, it sounds like it. Well, that was impressive. I think you
Well,
solved
thank
that
you.
in like 10 seconds. Well done. Well done. I'm trying to find the answer to read exactly what it says, but it is oh yeah, here it is. It says yeah, it just says what you said.
Elevation.
I thought it would explain it more, but that's just what it says. But it does give two reasons. The other one, which is yours is a much smarter answer. The other one just says some eggs are larger than other, like an ostrich egg.
Oh yeah.
Because it
Oh,
weighs more, it would take
I
longer.
wouldn't have
But
thought of that. Yeah.
yeah,
I've
that's
never cooked an
pretty
ostrich
simple.
egg.
Me neither. I mean, it says they're 3 to 6 pounds. That's a pretty big egg. 6-pound egg. Yeah, that's a good size. It's like a dinosaur egg. All right, so here we go. Are you ready for some questions? First one is pretty simple. What is your favorite color? Uh-oh, we stumped her already.
All right, I'm gonna say yellow. It's
Okay.
usually yellow, but also sometimes it's obviously not because what if I'm not in a yellow mood? So I don't know.
So why is it usually yellow? Is that just you just always like
Mm.
yellow, or does it have a reason from some point in your life?
It just seems like a happy color. It seems, just bright.
Cheerful.
It's just
Yeah,
out there being like nice. And sometimes I like that. And then
I like it.
sometimes I resent nice, happy things and yellow flowers and generally the bright happiness in the world. And I would rather be around red. And I like that nice dark ruby red color. It's
Ooh,
lovely.
okay. I like it.
Um, and it also just depends on what's around it. Obviously, like the background matters. Yellow by itself, never happens. You've got other colors around.
True.
And yellow and red don't go together at all. So you can't really
Makes you
base
think of
your
Ronald McDonald. It's true.
yeah, it won't be good. So like when I'm planning decorating my kitchen, I'm going with red because red is reliable. It never pisses me off by how happy it looks. Um, so it always and it looks really nice with wood tones, when you've got
True.
like dark woods and a dark red color, that looks very nice. I like that a lot. Um, just sort of those jewel tone colors like dark red, dark blue, and dark green are all very reliable when you're working, with wood. And so I assume that I'm gonna have a wood background kitchen, unless I get painted cabinets, and then I just have to rethink my entire life.
That was the best. What's your favorite color answer I think I've ever gotten so far?
Thank
And
you.
this is number 82. So well done. That was good. I enjoyed that. All right. What about what's your favorite food? If you get to pick what you're gonna eat for dinner, what kind of food are you eating?
Definitely steamed spiced shrimp. I
Oh,
think.
okay. Nice.
Uh, most days. I do love tacos and I love crab.
Nice.
Actually, it might be steamed spiced crab.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I would like to eat all the things for one. But I do love shrimp and crab and tacos are the three that I
Oh
love.
man.
Unless
That does
I'm gonna get the red velvet Oreo truffle brownies, and I also love that.
oh, the crab.
I
There
also
you
love
go.
crawfish. Crawfish are good,
I
but
don't think I've ever had crawfish.
lobster is not good. I don't know
Mm.
why, but lobster it doesn't taste right, and it's too tough. It's not
It is
soft, and fluffy.
well,
It's
it's
hard.
hard to get to also if it's not just coming already out of there, it's hard to get it out of there. I
Yeah,
think the garlic butter is what's good with lobster. I don't think it's so much the
yeah,
lobster.
exactly. Like if you put enough butter on anything, it's delicious.
It's gonna be
But
good, right?
yeah.
Very true, very true. All right, I like it. Nice answer. I love shrimp as well and crab. Good and tacos, so can't go wrong. All right. Think back to when you were younger. What was your first job that you had that you got a paycheck for?
Like a real paycheck or somebody just like handing me money in the basement.
Oh, well, let's go with both because now I'm intrigued.
Uh my friend in high school, her dad had like a paper company, like that
Okay.
did advertisements and stuff. And for cheap labor, he would just have us fold these advertisements and signs in the basement.
Oh
So
wow.
that was kind of my first job, was just
Okay.
folding things. I was terrible at it. Genuinely, I have no coordination. My fine motor skills are lacking, and I got so many paper cuts for one. So I was bleeding over
Oh
his
gosh.
advertisements and also folding them really poorly.
Oh
So,
man.
but he did let me continue doing it for a while, and yeah, child labor. You got to do what you got to do to run your business.
That's right. That's right. Hey, but at least he paid you, so that's good.
Yeah, he did. He did pay me. It wasn't like a real paycheck that comes in the mail, but it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
it was something.
It was money.
Um,
That's real.
yeah, and then I got a job as a lifeguard,
Oh wow. Okay.
which I guess was like more fun, and I was like slightly better at it because all you really have to do is like sit there, and every once in a while you jump in the pool and save somebody.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. Did you save a lot of people in your time as a lifeguard?
No, but I did save the same kid like 20 times because he wouldn't stop going in the deep end.
Oh man. Uh, well, somewhere
Uh,
that kid right now is living life thanks to you.
he got mad at me every time I saved him too. I was the pool manager at like a juvenile detention center,
Oh wow.
and so like these kids were a little rough around the edges.
Hmm.
I did get a couple death threats. So it was fun. I loved them. Those kids were adorable, and generally they liked me for the most
Hmm.
part. But this one kid insisted that he could swim, but then he would be drowning and yelling for help. And then when you saved him, so he was embarrassed that he couldn't swim, but he wouldn't attend my swim lessons. It was very
Oh, geez.
frustrating.
That is
Um,
frustrating.
yeah, but so I just kept jumping in and getting him, and then he would get mad at me.
Ah, geez.
But he
Some
was
people, you,
literally yelling for help. There was like no denying that. So,
yeah. Then why is he getting mad 2 seconds later?
yeah.
Ah, who knows? Who knows?
So
Some
that was my
people.
first real job.
That's pretty good. That's pretty solid. It's a solid list. All right. Think back again around that time. What was the very first car that was yours that you drove?
It was a Dodge minivan.
Oh, nice.
Um, yeah, so like my family decided that I needed a car if I was gonna like work and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And so my grandparents were already looking for a new van. And so they paid my grandparents like $500
Oh yeah.
for their old Dodge minivan, and I got that. Um,
Nice.
and it
What color was
lasted.
it?
It was emerald green,
Ooh,
beautiful.
emerald green. Do you remember
Yeah.
what year it was? I always like to try to look up a picture.
I would guess it was like a 95. I remember what
Okay.
my next car was an 89 because I
Oh.
inherited my brother's car after he got a new one. So I had a
Oh,
1989
okay.
Volvo.
Oh, I gotta look
Um,
that up. Was your van, did it look like that?
it was a little less square, I think. It was
Okay. So it's
rounder
more
looking.
round?
Yeah, so maybe it was newer than 95. I know things tend to get rounder as time goes on.
That's fair. That's fair. Oh, that's funny. Oh yeah.
Um,
Okay, so maybe like this.
yes, that's
There it
my
is.
first
Okay,
vehicle was a van.
rocking it out. And then you
Yeah.
got a Volvo, you said?
Yeah, 1989 Volvo, and it had already been in several accidents at that point,
Oh,
2 of them
geez.
with me in it, but I was the
Oh, God.
passenger, I didn't wreck the car. There was my brother asked me if I wanted to see a trick, and I said no, and he
Oh
did it
no.
anyway. Um,
Oh, those brothers.
and, we hit the bus shelter. They just put down new gravel, so it was fun, it was a good trick gone wrong.
Oh man. There you go. Tim had the same van, but blue.
Yeah.
You guys could have started like a little van club.
Yeah, we were the
Missed
coolest kids
opportunity.
in the parking lot, I bet. I
You
put it
would
right.
be if a bunch of people needed a ride somewhere, though. Then that comes in handy.
I didn't have that many friends. I don't think I ever had more than 2
You
passengers, and
never had to fill it up.
the second one was a raccoon, so it was just my cover artist and the raccoon in the van with me.
That was
Um,
it.
but,
Oh,
yeah, so it was a good van though. It lasted a good long while, and then one day it just started shutting down, and I'd have to turn right. If I turned right, it would start back up again.
okay.
So I would just have to keep turning in people's driveways and doing circles and then continue on. And then eventually just one day it didn't turn back on when I turned right. So I just got stuck in somebody's driveway.
Nice. You could just keep turning in one direction. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Driving in
And
circles.
no idea what was wrong with it. But the Volvo lasted a long time. Man, that thing was a tank. You could get hit in it. You could really get hit in
Well,
it. And I
clearly.
experienced that several times.
Yeah.
But
Oh
by the
man.
time I got it, it had 2 not matching doors. My mother
Oh
had
geez.
ripped the gas cover off because she
Oh
got
nice.
frustrated. It
Mm.
like froze over in the winter and she just ripped it off and threw it and like
That
it
was
just didn't
that.
have a gas cover. We had to duct tape the seats together. It
Oh
was
my gosh.
beautiful. There's so many memories in that car, and it did not embarrass anyone at all ever.
Oh yeah, no. That's true. It's yours now. So magical with all the different colored doors and no gas cap.
And it's
Oh
yours now that I've wrecked it 3 times. Yeah.
yeah. Congratulations. Oh, that's good. Those first car stores are always so fun.
Yeah, me and my cover artist also broke down in the middle of nowhere with no cell service in that car.
Oh,
And it was like over 100 degrees, and she had put
oh
her
God.
toes on the dashboard, and it
Mhm.
was so hot that her toe prints stayed on the windshield until we got rid of the car. We could never
Oh my
wash them
gosh,
off.
really?
Yeah,
They just
it's
like
just so
burned
hot.
into the glass. That's insane. Oh
Yeah,
man. Oh, nice,
fun times.
nice, happy memories. Yeah, fun
Mhm.
times. Oh, nice. All right. So this one you might have to think about for a second.
Mhm.
So we already know that you are good at writing, but what is a hobby or a talent that you have that we don't know about?
Oh man.
That's so tough sometimes. So it doesn't have to be a
Mm.
talent. Everybody always thinks right away a talent. It could be something that you collect, or something that you like to do, or something you like to go somewhere and do that not everybody does.
I can move my pinky toes independently. Does that count as a talent?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. I'm not
That's
gonna
gonna save
show
the world
anyone
someday.
ever because there's too many weird feet people. I wish I could show off my
Yeah.
skills. And also my second toes, like the ones besides the big toes, I can move
Mhm.
those independently, but I can't
Oh
move them
my
the same.
gosh.
I can move one like this, and I can curl the other one independently, but I can't curl this one, and I can't move this one like this. So,
It's
yeah.
interesting. That
Mhm.
is pretty wild though. But you're right. This video would get really popular for all the wrong
All the
reasons.
wrong reasons,
If we
yeah. Yeah, people need to stop being weird about feet. I mean, toes are
yeah,
not attractive at all. I don't
I don't get it
um,
either. Yeah,
I
we'll keep
was
it PG, Tim. Don't worry.
yeah, I was recently asked for foot pics, and I think I gave a really nice speech to them on why they should, like, marry a woman for their foot pictures because they could just get all the feet they want in their
Oh
life.
yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I don't know if I convinced them, but they were nice about it, so
Well, maybe we can hope. That
yeah.
is pretty cool. Someday, somehow, that's gonna save the world. They're gonna need something with that only independently moving toes can do.
Yeah,
It's
well,
gonna come in handy.
if I ever lose my hands, I'm confident that I can type with my
That's
toes.
true. You could. Boom, boom. Yeah,
So
you
I'm
got it.
prepared for the future.
You are. You are. Oh man. Now cue the feet pick comments in the comment section. Oh man. All right. So you talked a little bit about video games. So in when you were younger or currently, have you been a gamer?
So when I published Starlight Jewel, I did take a break to go back to gaming because I missed all my gaming friends and I was just really excited to go back and see them again.
Hmm.
Do still talk to me, thankfully, and I miss them, because I used to go back and forth between gaming and writing, and I had this whole group of I don't want to call them kids because they are full grown adults now, but I they kind of adopted me as like an already adult woman into their high school group, and I edited their essays when they were in
Oh,
high school
nice.
and their college entry papers, and then they got to college and I edited their college
Oh
papers, and it was so
man.
nice, and they were high all the time, and
Oh,
and
lifelong climbers.
generally very rambunctious, but they accepted me because I do good call outs in like PUBG and Call of Duty. So
Nice.
that was just fun. And I
It
do miss
sounds
them. And
like
then
it.
I have my other group of gaming friends, which is like my boss's friends. So like I
Okay.
actually play games with him and his friends.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
they've also accepted me as their own. I always feel like I have to get adapted into a group. Like I'm never really part of it. I'm just the weird one who occasionally mentions like spider taxidermy or something. And because I can't think of how to add to the conversation in a meaningful way.
That's a pretty good thing to bring up. Everyone's gonna stop and want to hear about that. That's pretty good. Oh, all
But
right, good,
but
good.
yeah, I haven't
Quality
oh, but
answer.
again, when I get a house, when we find a house, I'll be able to set up the Xbox again, but I was
Yeah.
gonna go back after Austringer's Wrath, but we don't have anywhere to put a TV. So I mean, there is one in here, but this is the garage. I'm not actually in the house. So.
True. But you will be. You're gonna get that house. The next time we talk, when book 3 comes out, you're not gonna have to say when we get a house anymore. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. We'll get a house, and I'll hopefully have like a writing shed and like a
There you
little
go.
writing place in my room, wherever that's at.
Heck
Hopefully.
yeah.
Girl
You
can
will.
dream.
That's right. I don't think that's too much to ask. It's gonna happen. All right. What about movies and TV shows? What are some of your favorites that you've watched either all time or recently?
So I've had a going rate of about one movie a year that I can actually finish.
Okay.
And I'm proud of myself for getting through those. I don't know what it is. When I was a kid, I liked movies and
Yeah.
I watched them and I was successful finishing them. But now it's like I sit down to watch a movie and then suddenly I'm doing laundry, I'm doing dishes, and I don't know how I got here. Like, I don't know when I left the television. But I do sometimes successfully finish a movie, and I don't think I'm ever going to finish Indiana Jones. We were just talking about it today, and
no.
I had to like kind of stop and be realistic with myself. How many times have I started Indiana Jones?
Oh man.
And I don't even know how it opens. Like I tune out so quick. I don't even know what the opening scene is.
So it's not like
And-
you remember pieces and you just need to finish it. You'd have to start all over again.
Exactly. So I think Indiana Jones might be like hopeless. I might have to just move on to Rocky. But usually when I do successfully finish a movie, it's because I just like on a whim, I have started it and I just happen to be too tired to move. Like, because I've been carrying around too many rocks and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that happens.
so earlier this year, I watched The Gorge, which was completely unplanned. I just sat down and I couldn't get back up. And so I did end up staying for the entire movie and I loved it. Oh my
Wow.
God, it was such a good
There
movie.
you go.
So creepy and romantic. In the kind of romantic that I like, which usually I hate romance.
Yeah.
But this was a very like dialogue light romance. They were just like across the gorge from each other. And I like that kind of distance in my romance.
Oh yeah.
Very socially distanced romance. And it was just kind of cute and adorable. And then everybody was dying and there were zombies and plant zombies. I love plant zombies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I loved that. There was so much violence and death with the romance that it didn't even really feel. I mean, it felt like the right kind of romance, the right ratio. So
Nice. Okay. Well, now everyone's gonna want to watch The Gorge. That sounds pretty good.
You should. It was fantastic. And then my favorite movie of all time, well, my favorite movie series is the Mad Max series from start to finish. I do like to have a marathon and I can pay attention. Again, I think I don't like dialogue in movies and I don't know why. But if you watch the whole Mad Max series, it is kind of like dialogue light. There's like a bunch of like one-liners, but there's no like conversations. I guess
true.
I don't know, but I love those movies. I love it so much, and I love now that like not Furiosa. I can't remember which one is which. The first new one came out with the Witness Me. If you get yourself a can of whipped cream, please, if you're going to watch the movie. And then when the Witness Me comes on, you can join the fun and feel like you're part of it.
Good idea. There you go. You heard it here, people.
I advise that to everyone. It makes the movie much more fun. It's already fun, but
all right. I'm going to remember that. Tim wants to see The Gorge now. It sounds like they had a great cast. So see, there you go.
Yeah, it is a fantastic movie.
Nice.
And I think I watched the first Dune last year. I think that was my 2024 movie.
That was your movie last year. Well, see, now you can watch number 2 whenever it tickles your fancy. You just got to get really tired first, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And what if you go to the movie theater? Or do you just not go because you know you might not want to sit through the whole thing?
I think the last time I went to the movie theater, I was in like college. There was a girl who wanted to hang out with me often, and she always wanted to go to the movie theater, and I didn't know how to hang out with people, so I was just like, okay, we'll go to the movie theater.
All right, we'll go there.
Oh no, I did. I took the girls at the shelter, we went to see one of the Pitch Perfect movies.
Oh
And
yeah.
so I like chaperoned for that. So I had a bunch of teen girls with me and I laughed hysterically through
Those
the
movies are
entire
funny.
thing. And they were so embarrassed and I loved it.
Yeah, those are really good movies. Those are funny. Nice. All right. All right, we'll bring it back to books with my questions to wrap it up here. What are some of your favorite books and authors that you've read?
Picking out a favorite book and favorite author. I've been thinking about this all week because I get asked this question frequently, and
Mhm.
it's so hard to compare apples to oranges. And so you've
I
got like,
agree.
how do you compare the post-apocalyptic that you love to like the
Mhm.
dark feminine mythology fantasy that you love? And so like picking out a favorite of anything, even from the subgenres and authors, is really difficult.
Oh
But
yeah.
I do want to say that my favorite book series is Anthony Ryan's Waking Fire, the Draconis Memorial series, which Bill Adams coerced me into reading. That I have to read his book now because I lost and I liked it. I don't like dragons, but I liked these dragons. I liked the commerce-based like world building that Anthony Ryan did in that book. And
Oh,
it's
nice.
funny, Anthony Ryan just generally a fantastic writer, but also
Mhm.
how he does something different with every single series. Like you never know what
That's
to
true.
expect.
Yeah, that's true.
And between like his like Red River 7 and Slab City Blues and then like the Covenant of Steel series and
Mhm.
then like
Mhm.
the Age of Wrath series, it's all so incredibly different. But I do think Draconis Memoria is my favorite. And
Okay.
then
Cool.
I honestly think indie authors have surpassed the rest of the trad pub authors for me. Ed Greaves, obviously, I love Daughter of the Beast, that series,
Mhm.
the Vishivka. I don't know how to say that,
Yeah.
but
I know what
that
you mean.
trilogy, I
Yeah. Yeah.
love those books so much. Zen is, just like a feral child. I relate to her.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's also got those Mad Max vibes in the beginning,
Yeah.
which I love. Stephen William Hanna is one of my favorite authors, mostly because of the plot twists. Like I love to be shocked. I love to be shocked. And he is probably he's got the most shocking plot twists that I have ever read, including trad pub authors. And generally just he's writing in two niches that I love and he's writing it incredibly well. I cannot wait for people to read The Rain That Makes the Rain That Makes the River. I wish he would come up with a shorter title. I don't like that. Taking a star off for the title being too dang long because I keep having to write it and it's too
So
much.
that you can say it. Yeah.
But anyway, I got to read an earlier version of that story and oh my goodness, it's so good. It is so good. And like the first book was good. And that's kind of like one of those issues. Like when the second book is better than the first book, you need to convince people to read the first book first. And the first book is fantastic. I loved the first book, but the second book is really, really
Oh
good.
yeah. All right.
And usually you get like the second book slump. Like I've had to
Mhm.
quit so many series on the second book and definitely not the case there.
Yeah.
Um, Also, I'm reading NC Scrimgeour's Sea of Souls right now, and
Yeah.
her prose is so much better than mine. Um,
Just different, not better.
no, it's objectively better. We're writing in the same niche. We're both writing like dark feminine mythological fantasy. We're writing in the same area with like romantic subplots and her prose is beautiful. It is fantastic. I've seen like two parts that like I might have suggested she changed like one word in the whole entire book. And it's just the way she uses metaphors is just gorgeous. I get to interview her on the 12th, and I'm
Ooh,
so excited to fangirl and generally be extra and scare her to death with my enthusiasm.
oh, that's awesome.
Yes, her descriptive stylings are wonderful, Bob. I don't think I've read another author who does, descriptive metaphors as beautifully as she does and makes them consistent throughout. I'm picky about my metaphors. I'm picky when I'm reading. Usually, when I find metaphors in books, I don't like them because people have done them like wrong or they don't fit. They're not quite natural or they don't
Mhm.
match. But no, all of hers are perfect. So love her writing. And I loved her Waystations trilogy too, but
Mm-hmm.
just that genre, when you see authors in different genres, it's a
Yeah.
different thing to write in sci-fi. So it's
Right.
obviously the beautiful prose thing didn't happen over there. It's
Yeah.
still fantastic prose, but for sci-fi.
Right.
Um, and I feel like they're Far Removed by C.P. Lansdale, again, one of my favorites, just because
Mm.
it's so weird and horrific. And again, it's in my little niche of dark feminine fantasy.
Yeah.
And I just love that subtle horror darkness. I
Oh,
really vibe with that. I mean, that's why I write in that subgenre, but it's cool to find other books in it.
yeah.
And apparently we all just really like cerulean because all our covers match. but
That's there you go. That. Yeah.
but yeah, I love her books. Just fantastic, horrific, and beautiful writing. I also love that she has audiobooks. Her audiobook narrators are really good.
Oh,
Um,
nice. Okay.
so yeah. Oh, and Adam Fernandez, kind of like one of the
Mm.
newer indie authors that I've been reading. He's writing sci-fi, but I've been trying to tell people, if you don't really like sci-fi, if you like fantasy and you're like trying to get into sci-fi, it's perfect for that because it reads almost like fantasy. It's got the
Okay.
multi POV. It feels like an epic fantasy because it's like multiple worlds. It's in the solar system, but the worlds have been made habitable, and each of the worlds has like their own like royal family.
Ooh,
So you
okay.
get kind of like the court politics, like Regency feel of epic fantasy, with that multi POV, with a huge conflict, with kind of some of the sci-fi stuff is actually more like magic. Like it, even
Okay.
though there's like scientific explanations, it feels like fantasy in
Ooh,
space.
okay. That
And
sounds pretty sweet.
yeah, I do love that.
Yeah.
And so I'm reading an early copy of his third book now
Okay.
and loving it. So, and I'm also listening to the audiobook of Iceborne, which is like a prequel novella. It's a novella attached to the series. I don't know if it happens before or after the main. You can read it on its own. Um, and loving that so far too, because it's on a planet that you haven't visited in the main series. But anyway,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard good things about his stuff,
and
so that's good.
yeah, and Tim McKay and also ZB Steele are both writing, like, I think the best grimdark. So grimdark isn't like my top subgenre that I love, but
Mhm.
I do love it, and I love to have those books in between, kind of like the slower, like I don't. They're not really. Yeah, they're slower. The pretty books. I like to have the grimdark books in between the pretty books. Um,
Yeah, it's a good mix.
so it was nice to read Fall of Savandria, even though it was incredibly stressful. I did enjoy that. It was definitely stressful. It was definitely grimdark and a lot of fun. And I also love the magic system. How am
Well,
I
there
the
you
first
go.
person to call it grimdark? There's literally somebody getting stabbed on every page. No one's happy. No one has any hope. He's literally talking about how the world is going to end and he doesn't know how to stop it. What do you mean I'm the first person to call it grimdark?
Well, now that's the first of
I
many. It sounds
uh,
like we need to change this.
what are they calling it, Tim? What are they calling it if they're not calling it? Well, yeah, Rena's happy. She's delusional and she's got like 100 people talking in her head at once. She's crazy.
Oh man, that sounds pretty good.
What are people calling it? I want to know, Tim. I feel like you
Yeah,
should
what
be
do people read?
advertising it as grimdark. That doesn't make sense to me that you're not. You start the book with a dude getting eaten by eels. Um,
Uh,
yeah.
Tim, you got to get on it, man. Got to get
Mhm.
on it.
But him and CD Steele do write really good action, and I am jealous
Mhm.
of the ability to just like write action well. It was really hard for me to write like my desert battle in Austringer's Wrath, which covered like 7 chapters,
Oh no,
and
we're back to the desert part.
which is like, I don't know, I guess it's like not even like a quarter of the book. And Tim's book is like all of it is like a battle. The whole thing is like a battle. And like I struggled with like my 7 chapters. Like it was so hard to like think of what else they're gonna do with this sword. What else are you gonna? You swung it a lot. You swung the sword a lot. Um It's just, what do you do after a while? And I feel like I'm paying attention when I'm reading the stabby books and trying to figure out what they're doing differently. But I don't know how to emulate that as well. Like, I do my best, and I think I do pretty good for not being in like the main stabby subgenres. But what can you do? I need to improve in several areas. One of them is stabbiness.
Well, everybody has got to improve somewhere, right? So
Okay, horror fantasy is different than grimdark, Tim. I think your Canadianness, your Quebecianness is affecting your ability to understand subgenres. Fall of Sylvandria is definitely grimdark. Horror fantasy is something completely different.
Oh, well, now Tim knows. He's gonna fix these issues.
Yeah. Have you sent it to Grimdark Magazine? They'll probably take it. I tried to send them my cannibal short story, and they wouldn't take it because I'm assuming Munch is too happy about being a cannibal, and there's probably too much romance in it.
That sounds like it would be perfect for Grimdark if they're happy about being evil. That sounds perfect.
Oh, he's not evil. Munch is adorable. He's just out there looking for somebody to eat, and he's living his life. He's a happy cannibal. And I think Grimdark Magazine does require the darkness to be grim. Like, I think your character has to be like depressed about life or miserable generally, like existential crisis type of character. And Munch is definitely not having an existential crisis. He's just like hungry. Yeah, he's hungry. He's thinking about his cannibal girlfriend back home and how she's going to want to eat his eyeballs. And, he's having a good time.
All happy times. Oh, man. Well, that does sound pretty good, actually. All right. Well, it is an hour and 40 minutes. Can you believe we've been chatting that long? This has been fun.
I've rambled too much. I'm sorry.
No, you haven't. This has been great. You were awesome.
It has been fun. Yeah.
Yes. It flew by. I just can't believe it's been that long. So we'll wrap it up here because I got to make sure my kids go to bed. It is a school night after all. But thank you so much for coming on. This was an absolute blast. It was so much fun. And thank you, everybody in the chat. You guys are awesome. Before I go into my ending thing, I'll give you the floor so you can shout out, share, talk about anything that you would like to before we go.
I'm collecting hair again for experiment number 2. And if anybody wanted to know about that, and it's going well. I've actually remembered every day this time, so that's good.
That's good.
Yeah, and I started book 3. I finished the test drafts, and I'm starting like the actual first chapter now. So I opened it with romance, kind of. Not real romance. Nobody's kissing. But it's kind of romantic. It's a touching moment. Does that count as romance?
Okay. Yeah. That counts.
Yeah, but so that's unusual for me. But it will proceed to death very quickly. So.
Well, good. You had us worried there for a minute. Well, awesome. You've got a lot of exciting things going on. Congrats on Austringer's Wrath being out and everything you have going on. Keep doing what you're doing because we all love it and we think you're awesome. So you're killing it. Keep it up. Keep sliding in to whatever you're doing, and we'll be there.
I appreciate it. Hopefully, the house that we find has wood floors.
Yes. Otherwise, you're going to have to get some of those carpet skates. Have you seen those?
I have not. I was thinking I'd get a skateboard.
You could. I don't know if that would roll good on carpet, though. I guess you could do it outside. That's true. That might be dangerous, though. But they do make these shoes you strap on. They're like a flat, smooth piece of plastic. You strap it onto your feet, and you slide across the carpet.
Is there a purpose? Is there a reason people are making this, or do other people like to slide a lot?
I think they're like toy things for kids, but they're adult size too. So I got them. The long story. I'll just tell the short version. My my in-laws had a neighbor who like worked for a toy company. He like traveled the world and stuff, and he would get all these samples left over, and he would drop them off at my house for my kids when they were young.
Yeah.
And one time we got a pair of these carpet skates, and they actually slid really good with them. So there you go.
I feel like we need a TikTok of this.
We do.
I want to see you skating on the carpet.
I'm gonna have to get some because they're gone, of course. Now that was a long time ago. But I'll have to get some more and show you. They're actually pretty cool. And a little dangerous, as most things that are cool, right? But anyway, yes, keep doing what you're doing. You're rocking it out. Thank you, everybody in the chat, and thank you to those of you on replay watching. We appreciate it. Remember, in the description is EL's website and books. Go check them out. And support her because she deserves it. As you've seen here tonight, I will be back on later this week, Thursday and Friday. So look for more information about that, and we'll see you then. Everybody have a great night, and until I see you in the next one.